I want you to picture a scenario. And I'll be honest, this isn't hypothetical for me. I was literally in this position 2 nights ago.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. It's 12:17 a.m. You're lying in bed. The room is pitch black, silent, except for that, cold blue glow of your phone lighting up your face.
The doom scroll glow.
Exactly. You know you should be asleep. You have work in the morning. But you're not sleeping. You're doing the scroll.
The infinite scroll. The dopamine slot machine.
That's the one. You're just drifting, eyes half glazed. And then the thumb stops. A post pops up. Someone has made a mistake. Or maybe they've just said something a little, controversial.
Doesn't have to be a big deal. A bad take on a movie. A typo.
Right. And you instinctively look at the first comment, then the second.
And let me guess. It's not a polite, hey, I think you might be mistaken here.
Not even close. It's sarcasm. It's a direct insult. It's mockery. And that mean comment, it has thousands of likes. It's the top comment.
Right.
But here's the hook. The thing that really stopped me when we were going through this research. You aren't shocked. You aren't horrified. You just keep scrolling.
And that lack of reaction, that numbness, is exactly what we need to unpack today. We're doing a deep dive into the normalization of online insults. And the source material we're looking at poses a very simple but a very disturbing question.
Which is?
When did this become normal? Because if you did this in real life...
Oh, absolutely not. If I walked into a coffee shop, someone spilled their latte, and I immediately screamed, "You're a waste of space and your shoes are ugly," the entire shop would go silent. I'd be the villain.
You'd be the story everyone tells that night.
Yeah.
But online...
That's just Tuesday. It's just content.
It's become the background noise of our digital lives. And what I love about the sources we have today is that they don't just complain about, kids these days. They actually pull in some heavy hitters from philosophy, Jean-Paul Sartre, Hannah Arendt, Nietzsche, to explain why.
Yeah, I saw Sartre's name in the notes and thought, okay, we are going deep today. But I have to ask, is this going to be one of those things where we blame society? Or are we, looking in the mirror?
Oh, we are definitely looking in the mirror. And it starts with Sartre. You know that famous line of his, hell is other people?
I use that line constantly. Usually when I'm stuck in traffic, I always assumed it just meant, people are annoying.
That's how everyone uses it.
Yeah.
But it's not quite what Sartre meant. He wasn't saying we should hate people. He was talking about something he called the gaze.
The gaze. Okay, break that down to me.
Okay, think about when you're alone in your room. You're free. You could dance, sing off key.
Yeah.
You are the subject of your own world.
Right.
But the second someone else walks in, say you walk into a party where you don't know anyone, what happens?
I freeze up. I suddenly become very aware of my hands. I wonder if my shirt looks stupid.
Exactly. That feeling. That is the gaze. In that moment, you're no longer this complex person who loves jazz and hates cilantro. To them, you're just an object. The guy in the blue shirt.
They freeze you.
They freeze you. And Sartre says that, look, that gaze turns you from a subject into an object.
Okay, I feel that. But how does that connect to my Twitter feed at midnight?
Well, think about social media. That party isn't 30 people. It's 3 million. On the internet, you are constantly being observed, categorized, and turned into an object by total strangers.
And once a person becomes an object...
It becomes incredibly easy to attack them.
Yeah.
You aren't attacking a human, you're attacking an avatar, a bad take, a collection of pixels that annoyed you.
So today, we're going to try to figure out how this happened. We'll look at the psychological stuff, why our brains give us a pass to be mean.
The social structures, too, why the algorithms actually want us to fight.
And finally, the existential cost, what this is doing to our actual humanity.
It's a journey from the screen to the soul, essentially.
Let's start with the psychology then, this idea of distance. The research brings up this really powerful thought experiment. Imagine you're standing, say, a meter away from a real human being.
A tangible, breathing person.
Right, you can see their eyes. You can see the pores on their face. If you pinch them, you see them flinch. Now, in that moment, looking them in the eye, would you say the things you see in comment sections?
Most people would say no, absolutely not. Even the worst trolls would struggle to do it face to face.
Why, though? Are we just cowards? Is it just that we're afraid of getting punched?
It's not just fear, it's biology. The source material highlights this physical versus digital gap. When you're face to face, your brain is processing this massive amount of empathy data.
The micro-expressions, the way they breathe.
All of it. You see the hurt, you feel that awkward tension in the air. Those are biological breaks. They stop you from going too far.
And the screen just it cuts those breaks.
Completely. The screen creates a buffer. You don't see the immediate consequence of your words. So physical distance becomes moral distance.
You type a grenade, throw it over the wall, and you don't have to watch the explosion.
That's a perfect way to put it.
This reminds me of one of the sources mentioning Hannah Arendt. She's famous for that phrase, the banality of evil. But I have to be the skeptic here for a second. Evil? Really?
It's a heavy word.
It's a very heavy word. I mean, leaving a snarky comment on YouTube is rude, sure. But are we really comparing a mean tweet to, historical atrocities?
I get the hesitation, and we have to be careful with it. But Arendt wasn't just talking about the scale of the damage. She was talking about the mechanism of the mind.
Okay.
Her argument was that evil acts aren't always committed by monsters who wake up wanting to destroy the world. They're often committed by ordinary people who have simply stopped thinking.
So it's the thoughtlessness, the detachment.
Precisely. When she covered the trials after the war, she was shocked by how, boring some of the perpetrators were. They were just bureaucrats following a process. Apply that to the internet.
I see where you're going.
You don't type an insult because you want to be a villain.
Yeah.
You do it because you're following the process.
Yeah.
You see a target, you fire a shot, you move on. It's banal because it's done without reflection.
Yep. That is actually more terrifying than if we were all just angry monsters. It means we're just sleepwalking into cruelty. But there's another layer here, right? It's not just that we don't feel bad. It's that we actually feel good.
Oh, the brain loves this part.
The dopamine of judgment.
Yes. The reward system. You write a stinging, funny, brutal comment.
Yeah.
You hit send. 5 minutes later, you check your phone. 200 likes.
And I'll admit it, that feels great. It feels like validation. It's like, ha, I got him, and everyone agrees with me.
And that's the trap. Friedrich Nietzsche talked about the pleasure of judging. He argued that judging others gives us this little hit of power. It makes us feel superior, righteous.
And it elevates us by pushing someone else down. In the digital world, that feeling is quantified. It's a scoreboard.
It is quantified and gamified. Your brain links the insult to the reward. I attacked this person, and the tribe applauded me. It's not just about anger, it's about visibility. You're screaming into the void, and for once, the void is clicking like.
You feel seen. But it's not just our brains doing this, is it? Because there's a machine on the other side of the screen that knows exactly how to feed that feeling.
The ecosystem of cruelty.
Yeah. Why is it that the meanest comments always seem to rise to the top? If I write a thoughtful, balanced paragraph, nobody sees it.
3 likes from your mom and her bridge club.
Exactly. But if I make a brutal joke, it's the top comment.
That's the algorithm of conflict. We have to remember, and the sources are very clear on this, algorithms are amoral. They don't care about kindness or truth. They care about one thing.
Attention. Stopping the scroll.
And what stops the scroll? Extreme emotion.
Yeah.
Anger. Ridicule. Shock. These things grab our attention much more effectively than nuance.
This connects to that French philosopher you mentioned, Guy Debord and the Society of the Spectacle. I had to read that part twice. Unpack that for us.
So Debord argued that in modern society, real experience is replaced by images. Everything becomes a performance. Think about a gladiator arena. When you insult someone on Twitter, you aren't really communicating with them. You are performing for the audience. The insult itself becomes a spectacle to be consumed.
That makes so much sense. It explains the pile-on. It's not about the person they're attacking. It's about the show.
It's about being the guy in the stands who throws the best tomato.
Yeah.
And this leads to that us versus them dynamic. It's no longer, I disagree with this person. It becomes, I am defending my values against this enemy.
And when you frame it like that, as a battle,
anything goes. The philosopher Søren Kierkegaard warned about the crowd almost 200 years ago. He said the crowd is this faceless thing where individual responsibility just dissolves.
when everyone is throwing stones, no single person feels responsible for the bruise.
Exactly. The collective pile-on, we see it every day. It's a trend. People join in, not because they're personally hurt, but because, well, that's what we're doing today. We're hating this person.
And if you don't join in, you feel left out. It's the social activity of the moment.
Which is where the real dehumanization happens.
I want to ground this in some reality, because the source material gives some really painful examples. It mentions the dancing girl. Reading this, it just broke my heart a little bit.
This one hits hard because it's so common.
So, you have a teenager, maybe 15. She posts a video of herself dancing on TikTok. She's not a professional, she's just having fun in her bedroom. But you look at the comments an hour later.
And it's a massacre.
It is. They aren't critiquing her technique, they're attacking her body, her face, her weight. She becomes a joke meme. And the source makes this point. None of these thousands of commenters are actually angry at her. They don't know her.
No, they're just playing the game. To them, she isn't a 15-year-old girl. She is content, an object to be roasted for likes.
Then there's the example of the young employee. Someone posts a naive opinion about work, maybe a bit entitled or just inexperienced, and instead someone's saying, hey, actually, the working world is more like this.
They destroy them. They attack their intelligence, their education, their whole generation. It's total destruction. And this highlights a critical distinction the source makes.
The difference between correction and humiliation.
Exactly. What is the goal? Correction wants to fix a mistake. It assumes the other person can learn. It's a bridge. Humiliation, though.
It wants to lower the other person to elevate yourself.
It burns the bridge. It treats the person as something to be consumed and discarded. Their pain becomes our entertainment.
I have to admit something here, though. The source touched on this, and I felt the urge. There are times when I see someone who is on the wrong side of an issue I care about, and I feel like they deserve the hate. Like, oh, they asked for it. They're a bad person.
That is the most dangerous feeling of all. Because it feels like justice, but it's usually just vengeance. The source brings in Albert Camus here. He warned that when people believe they possess absolute
You
righteousness,
can justify anything.
they can justify almost any violence. In this case, it's symbolic violence. We shift the moral boundary. We tell ourselves, I'm a good person, but this person is trash, so the rules of kindness don't apply.
We create an exception clause for our own cruelty.
And that leads us to the heavy stuff, the existential drop. Because this isn't just about the victim, it's about what happens to us.
Right. We tend to focus on the person getting bullied, but the source asks, what happens to the soul of the bully? Or even just the person who scrolls past and does nothing?
It's the cost of reducing others. We talked about Sartre and objectification.
Right.
But here's the twist. When we reduce others to labels idiot, fake, trash, we are practicing a worldview where humans can be reduced.
So we're essentially building the machine that can be used against us.
Precisely. If you normalize a world where people are defined by their worst moment, their worst tweet, are you prepared to be treated that way when you make a mistake? Because you will make a mistake.
That's a haunting question. We're creating the monster that will eventually eat us.
It's an erosion of humanity. It's not a loud explosion. It's this slow, quiet process. You give up your agency to join the mob, and you stop being the driver. You become the bumper car, just crashing into things because that's where the mob is pushing you.
You lose the status of being a responsible subject. You become just a reactive part of the machine.
Yeah.
So what do we do? Because it's easy to say, be nice. But the source calls this the stoic response. And honestly, stoicism sounds hard.
It is hard, and it's not passive. The source asks, what does it take to not join in? And the honest answer is, it takes a willingness to pay a social cost.
A cost? What do you mean?
If you don't join the pile-on, you might be seen as soft.
Right.
You might be called a centrist or an apologist, and you lose the dopamine hit. You don't get the likes for the sick burn you didn't tweet.
You have to be okay with being boring, essentially. Or invisible.
Invisible to the algorithm, yes.
Yeah.
This is where the Stoics, like Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius, come in. Epictetus said you have to distinguish between what is yours and what is not. The crowd's reaction, not yours. The algorithm, not yours.
But your keyboard.
Your keyboard, your reaction, that is yours. And Marcus Aurelius, he constantly reminded himself that people act based on what they think is true, even if they're wrong. He tried to see them with complexity, not just as targets.
So instead of seeing an enemy to be destroyed, you see a person who is mistaken.
Or just shaped by different experiences. It's not about letting them get away with it. It's about refusing to let them turn you into something ugly.
The source says that in an attention economy, silence is an active choice.
It's an active refusal of the reward system. It's saying, I will not be a puppet for this algorithm. It's the difference between critique and insult.
Critique is slow. Insult is fast.
Exactly. And choosing the slow path in a fast world is an act of rebellion.
Rebellion through restraint. I like that. Refusing to play the game.
It is.
As we wrap this up, I want to circle back to where we started. That 12:17 a.m. scroll, that blue light on your face.
The source material ends with a really poignant thought. There was no single day where we held a meeting and decided, okay, insults are fine now. It didn't happen overnight. It happened through adaptation.
The water just got hotter and hotter, and we didn't notice.
And now we're boiling.
Yeah.
And this brings us back to Cam Musa one last time. He believed that in an absurd world, the only way to maintain your dignity is to choose how you stand. You create your own code.
The final challenge from the source is something I've been thinking about all week. It asks, If insults have become normal, do you have the courage to be abnormal?
That's the key. When you're about to type that comment, when you feel that surge of, I'm going to get them, you have to stop and you have to ask yourself, is this who I want to be? Not, is this person wrong, but is this reaction worthy of me?
That moment before you hit send, that split second, that moment still belongs to you. It's the only thing that does.
Don't give it away to the crowd.
We're going to leave it there. It's a heavy topic, but one that matters every time you unlock your phone. Take care of yourselves, and maybe take care of the people in your comment section too.
See you next time.